It was a scene of chaos and confusion. On February 17, 2025, a Delta Airlines flight operated by Endeavour Air approached Toronto Pearson Airport. The CRJ-900LR aircraft was arriving from Minneapolis, carrying passengers eager to reach their destination. However, a fierce winter storm had enveloped the city. Blowing snow, driven by 32 mph winds gusting to 40 mph, reduced visibility. The temperature plummeted to a bone-chilling -8.6 Celsius. As the plane touched down on the runway, something went terribly wrong. The aircraft, buffeted by the powerful winds, veered off course. It skidded across the icy tarmac, its metal frame groaning under the immense stress. And then, in a horrifying instant, the plane flipped. It landed upside down, its fuselage crushed against the unforgiving ground. Inside, passengers were thrown violently against their seats and the cabin ceiling. Screams pierced the air as luggage compartments burst open, sending belongings flying. The smell of jet fuel filled the cabin, adding to the terror. 17 people were injured in the chaotic aftermath. One child was rushed to Sick Kids Hospital while 2 adults sustained critical injuries. Emergency responders battled the blizzard conditions to reach the wreckage and evacuate the survivors. The Transportation Safety Board of Canada immediately launched an investigation into the incident. Experts will analyze the aircraft's black box recordings, weather data, and air traffic control communications to determine the exact cause of the crash. The investigation will focus on the role of the severe weather conditions, pilot actions, and any potential mechanical issues that may have contributed to the disaster. The vast, unforgiving wilderness of Alaska has long held a sense of both awe and danger. Its breathtaking landscapes, while beautiful, are also treacherous, demanding respect and caution from those who traverse them. On February 6, 2025, tragedy struck the small community of Nome, reminding everyone of the risks inherent in navigating this remote and challenging environment. The incident was a stark reminder of how quickly things can go wrong in such an unforgiving place. A Bering Air Cessna Caravan, a workhorse aircraft commonly used for passenger and cargo transport in the region, crashed 30 miles southeast of Nome. This aircraft, known for its reliability, was a lifeline for many remote communities. The plane, en route from Unalakleet, carried 9 passengers and 1 pilot. Tragically, there were no survivors. The loss was felt deeply across the region. The day of the crash dawned with a deceptive calm. The serene morning gave no indication of the disaster that was about to unfold. Light snow fell, reducing visibility but not to an alarming degree. It was a typical winter day in Alaska, where such weather conditions are common. A thick fog hung low in the air, obscuring the surrounding mountains. This fog, dense and unyielding, created a hazardous environment for any aircraft. The temperature hovered around -8.3 Celsius, cold but not uncommon for an Alaskan winter. Such temperatures are a regular part of life in this region. The Cessna Caravan, piloted by an experienced aviator familiar with the treacherous Alaskan terrain, took off from Unalakleet Airport. The pilot's expertise was well known and respected. The passengers on board represented a cross-section of Alaskan life. Each had their own story, their own reason for making the journey. Among them were essential workers heading to jobs in Nome, individuals whose roles were crucial to the functioning of the community. A retired teacher visiting family, reconnecting with loved ones after a long time apart, and a person traveling for much-needed medical care, seeking treatment that was not available in their remote village. As the plane approached its destination, something went wrong. The serene journey turned into a nightmare. The exact cause of the crash remains unknown, but investigators are looking into several possibilities. Each potential cause is being meticulously examined. Weather conditions, including the fog and low visibility, are considered a significant factor. The dense fog could have disoriented the pilot. Mechanical failure is also a possibility, as is human error. Each scenario is being carefully analyzed to determine what went wrong. The wreckage of the Cessna Caravan was located amidst the snow-covered trees and frozen tundra, a stark testament to the unforgiving nature of the Alaskan wilderness. The scene was a grim reminder of the dangers inherent in flying over such a harsh landscape. The recovery effort was challenging and emotionally draining for the first responders who braved the harsh conditions to retrieve the bodies of the victims. Their dedication and bravery were commendable. The small community of Nome, a tight-knit group bound together by the challenges of life in a remote part of the world, was devastated by the loss. The tragedy brought the community even closer, as they mourned together and supported each other through the difficult time. The whirring blades of a medical helicopter are often a sound of hope, a symbol of life-saving intervention arriving in a moment of crisis. These helicopters, with their dedicated medical teams, are often the difference between life and death. But on January 31, 2025, that symbol of hope transformed into a scene of unimaginable heartbreak in Philadelphia. The city, known for its resilience and spirit, faced a tragedy that would leave an indelible mark on its community. A Learjet 55 medical transport jet operated by a private company crashed shortly after takeoff from Northeast Philadelphia Airport. The jet, designed for critical medical transport, was on a mission to reunite a young patient with their family. The plane, returning a critically ill child to Mexico after treatment at Shriners Children's Philadelphia, carried 7 souls: the young patient, their mother, and 5 crew members, including 2 pilots, 2 medical professionals, and a flight nurse. Each person on board had a vital role in ensuring the safety and care of the young patient. The day began with a sense of cautious optimism. The medical team, having meticulously planned every detail of the flight, was ready to embark on the journey. The child, having received specialized medical care at Shriners, was deemed well enough to be transported back home to Mexico. The treatment had been successful, and the child's condition had stabilized. Their mother, exhausted from weeks of worry and sleepless nights, clung to the hope that her child would soon be on the road to recovery. She had been through an emotional roller coaster, but the prospect of returning home brought a glimmer of relief. The medical team, experienced professionals dedicated to providing critical care during transport, prepared for the flight back to Mexico. They were committed to ensuring the child's safe return. Shortly after takeoff, the Learjet 55 experienced a catastrophic mechanical failure. The crew, trained for emergencies, tried to manage the situation. Witnesses reported hearing a loud bang, followed by the sight of the plane rapidly losing altitude. The sudden descent was a terrifying sight for those on the ground. The jet, struggling to stay airborne, clipped power lines and crashed into a residential neighborhood near the airport. The impact was devastating. The impact created a massive fireball, engulfing homes and cars in flames. The neighborhood was thrown into chaos as residents scrambled to safety. The crash claimed the lives of all 7 people on board the Learjet 55. The loss was profound and deeply felt by all who knew them. The tragedy sent shockwaves through the Shriners Children's Philadelphia community, leaving doctors, nurses, and staff members grappling with the loss of their young patient and the dedicated medical professionals who had fought so hard to save the child's life. The community came together in mourning, holding vigils and memorials to honor the lives lost. The bustling skies above Washington, D.C. are a testament to the city's status as a center of power and a hub of travel. Every day, hundreds of flights crisscross the airspace, carrying thousands of passengers to and from the nation's capital. But on January 29, 2025, those skies became the backdrop for a horrifying tragedy that would forever change the lives of many. An Army UH-60 Black Hawk helicopter on a routine training exercise collided with an American Airlines regional jet in a catastrophic mid-air collision. The jet, an Embraer E-175 operated by Republic Airlines, was approaching Ronald Reagan National Airport, carrying 60 passengers and 4 crew members from Wichita, Kansas. The passengers included business travelers, families, and a group of young figure skaters. The mid-air collision, occurring at approximately 3:45 p.m. local time, resulted in the deaths of all 67 people on both aircraft. The impact was so severe that there were no survivors. The Black Hawk helicopter, with a crew of 3 experienced Army aviators, was conducting a training exercise over the densely populated areas surrounding the nation's capital. The crew was highly trained and had logged many hours of flight time. The helicopter's flight path, authorized by air traffic control, took it on a course that intersected with the approach path of the American Airlines regional jet. This intersection proved to be fatal. The Embraer E-175, carrying business travelers, families returning from vacations, and a group of young figure skaters from the Skating Club of Boston, was on its final descent into Ronald Reagan National Airport. The passengers were unaware of the impending disaster. The pilots, unaware of the approaching helicopter, followed the instructions of air traffic control. They were experienced and trusted the system that had guided them safely countless times before. The impact, occurring at an altitude of approximately 2,500 feet, was catastrophic. The collision was so violent that it left no chance for recovery. The Black Hawk helicopter, struck from above by the regional jet, disintegrated in mid-air, scattering debris over a wide area. The force of the collision was immense. The Embraer E-175, its fuselage torn open by the force of the collision, plummeted to the ground, crashing into a wooded area near the Potomac River. The crash site was a scene of utter devastation. The wreckage of both aircraft burned fiercely, fueled by the jet fuel and the helicopter's flammable materials. Firefighters worked tirelessly to extinguish the flames. The crash sent shockwaves across the nation. Families mourned, and the nation grieved the loss of so many lives in such a tragic event. GAP 3S. Each of these tragic incidents serves as a stark reminder of the immense responsibility that comes with aviation. From the bustling skies above Washington, D.C. to the remote reaches of Nome, Alaska, the lives lost in these disasters underscore the importance of rigorous safety measures and constant vigilance. The Toronto Pearson incident showed us the necessity of precise communication and coordination between air traffic control and pilots. The Nome crash highlighted the critical need for thorough pre-flight checks and the significance of understanding weather conditions. The Philadelphia air ambulance tragedy brought to light the importance of ensuring that emergency flights are conducted with utmost care, while the Washington, D.C. mid-air collision emphasized the vital role of air traffic management and the need for continuous improvement in collision avoidance systems. In the aftermath of these events, the aviation community has taken significant steps to enhance safety protocols. Advanced technologies, improved training programs, and stricter regulations are all part of a collective effort to prevent such tragedies from occurring again. But beyond the technicalities, these stories remind us of the human cost of lapses in safety. They urge us to honor the memories of those who perished by committing to a culture of safety and vigilance. As we look to the skies, let us remember the lessons learned and strive to ensure that every journey is a safe one. Thank you for watching. If you found this video informative, please like, share, and subscribe for more content on aviation safety and history.